Ars Libri is an everyman's journey, book by book, through Western literature. We read, retell, and reclaim our rich heritage. Let's do an episode on Marguerite de Angeli's book, Elin's Amerika. And America is spelled with a K. It was written in the early 1900s. It's an old book, out of print now. It had the last run that I know of was in 2005 or 6 from the Swedish American History Museum.
Wow.
They published it. But now you can buy them online used. Even though they were printed long ago, it's still a beautiful edition. Hardback, the paper has stood the test of time. Really high quality paper, great pictures. She also drew these pictures in the book.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
She did. She wrote the story and drew the pictures. Okay, so the book essentially follows people from Sweden who came to America.
Yeah, I think it's set in about 1643 or so. That's when the group came over.
1643, okay. And they called it New Sweden, where they settled. Yeah.
Which I'm not sure exactly where that is, but somewhere in the Northeast. I guess.
Somewhere in the Northeast. Yeah. It was near Finns. It was near British people, different white ethnic peoples. And that's one of the reasons why I like this book. And I like those other books that were The Coal Camp Girl, Strawberry Girl. Who wrote those? Do you remember who wrote those?
Lois Linsky.
Lois Linsky? Okay. Yeah, I like those stories because it shows that white people in America today, we're all lumped together as though we're one big homogenous mass, but really we weren't. And if you go to Europe today, they still aren't.
Right.
They're different people. They have different nations, different languages, different ways of doing things, food, customs, different worship rites. The way they worship is different. Child rearing, celebrating things. So when the Finns in this story meet the Swedes, they're different. They all get along, but they're different. And these early American history books are no longer published today, and I wonder why. I can only speculate politically, maybe, or culturally, why these things are no longer published. The last time this one was put out was by the Museum for Swedish Heritage America. Nobody else is publishing it.
I think one of the reasons perhaps could be the Indian element. You know, a lot of times the books that are published nowadays, the Indians are always the victims or the wise ones. It's going to be either one of those roles. And this book has some of both. There's a wise Indian character, but it also shows the realities of what Indians did.
Right. Who was the wise Indian character? Does anybody remember? The lady with the herbs?
Mishakana.
Her name was
Mishakanokwe.
Mishakanokwe, and her shortened name was
Lamefoot.
Lamefoot. I don't remember if she actually had a lame foot though, because she walked around. Oh, she did?
She shows Ellen her scar, and she says, "This is why it's my name." And Ellen kind of gives her the name Lamefoot.
Okay, yeah. Well, the overall story essentially is that Ellen, a little girl, a young girl, lives with her family, and the family live in a sort of village settlement, and they're all getting along and doing life in early America. And it really is, the Swedes are living among the Swedes, and it's just a daily life for maybe a couple weeks or months. Actually, yeah, probably a couple months, because they go through seasons. And it shows everything she has to do as a young lady. She has to sweep the hearth. That's really, really big for the Swedes. You have to keep your hearth clean.
Because of the tomta.
The tomta, which is the little gnome thing.
A house spirit.
A house spirit that his presence shows that he favors the hard work that everybody's doing. So if Ellen is ever giving in to complaints, if she ever says a naughty thing or has a bad attitude, her mother says, the tomt won't visit us if you don't do this. And Ellen thinks, that tomt. Oh, but please don't, I hope you didn't hear my bad attitude. So she has to work hard. She cleans the bowls, she does all kinds of things. She has a father, mother, at least one or two brothers.
3, I think.
3. They all go hunting all the time. They're out in the woods. They're herding their animals around. They're doing hard tasks outside. And the women are doing tasks inside. And what's interesting too is Ellen kind of complains a little bit, but her mom says, this is the way of the world. This is just how it is. And what's fascinating is nobody really questions that. They all get along. They have specific roles and tasks that they do. And that's just how life works. And the whole village works that way, there was one mill in the whole village. I don't know how many axe heads they have. I forgot. I think I remember them saying, we only have so many axe heads, so we have to share when people cut down trees and things. We have to work together. They only had one cow in the village. This family had the cow, and they shared the milk, and the other people in turn shared other things with them.
Right. I think they had to trade 40 beaver skins in order to get the cow for the whole village to use. Yeah.
Right.
One thing I like about the book is how they're always looking forward to the ship. Because a lot of times in books set like this, it's all about how they have to survive and make it and make do with what they have.
Right.
But that I thought was an interesting element, that they really rely on the ship for new supplies, for all of the things that they need. And it says of one of their brothers went back on the ship as cabin boy. And he's supposed to make the return trip back. And apparently, I think he was the second born. And their father says, if you see Axel, give him a smack. If he's sitting down, he's sure to be thinking up mischief. If he's walking, he's going to do it. If he's running, he's done it.
Axel. They were waiting for Axel, and they were waiting for the ship to bring supplies and people. Elin, she wanted one main thing. What did she want?
A girl to play with. Yeah.
She wanted someone to play with. She wanted a friend. She didn't have any friends.
Just all boys.
All boys, everywhere. And she couldn't go hang out with the women whenever they did their things all together, whatever it was. They actually got together one time to brew beer or something.
Make soap.
Make soap, okay. They got together to make soap, and then what happened when that went down?
The bad Indians came.
The bad Indians came. So that's something in this story. There are good Indians, like Lamefoot, who is basically an herb woman. She finds herbs, she can heal. Elin got a snake bite, and the Indian woman healed it. She actually sucked out the venom, and that was a very kind deed. She didn't have to do that. So it's a good Indian, but then there are bad Indians, and I think that's a better view than you'll get in almost every textbook, course of history, podcast of the Indians in America. Like you said, most accounts of Native Americans in America, it's going to be telling how wonderful, how great civilizations they had, and how in harmony they were living with the wildlife. And in reality, they were people. They're people. There are good people and there are bad people. I mean, if we really want to treat them as equals, as humans, fellow human beings, well, what are human beings? Some of us are kind, some of us are treacherous.
Yeah.
And the ones that attacked them in that village, I think they were mostly, it sounds like some of them were drunk or something.
They had been given rum by the fellow white people. And it was almost like a plot. Not quite, but some of them began to be thinking like, and maybe the English, I'm not sure, but they're like, they got to stop giving them rum.
Right.
Because when they give them rum, they do this.
Yeah.
And they began to think, like, are they trying to drive us out?
Right.
You know, the other white people doing this.
Yeah. That's interesting too.
Yeah.
This is another point that I made earlier. The great thing about this book is that it doesn't show white people all as just one homogeneous mass. There were a bunch of different white people. There were the French, there were the English, there were the Finns, the Swedes, there were whatever else was here. The Germans, perhaps. I'm not sure if Germans were here that early, but there were different peoples everywhere.
There were the Danish, too.
The Danish.
They thought it was their ship and they went, but it was the Danish ship.
Okay, and they had the Danish flag, that's right. Yeah. So there's a lot of nuance in this book, even though it's a book written from a child's perspective and for children, but there's actually a really accurate picture here of early America as it was. They all worked together. They were, by the way, they were not immigrants. These people were settlers. So that goes with the ship.
Right.
They're looking for the ship to resupply them, which means they didn't come here merely to use the benefits of the social system that was already here, or to find even really new opportunity. There is no opportunity. There's nothing. There's nothing. You have to make everything yourself. And they keep looking back to old Sweden and saying, the weather here isn't like it was in old Sweden. the weather here isn't like it was, or the Christmas time isn't like it was. The food isn't exactly, we have to substitute some meat or vegetable for what we used back in Sweden.
Like they hadn't heard of watermelon before.
That's right, that's right.
Right, yeah, tell us, what did Ellen think it was?
Oh, she thought it was just this big fat cucumber thing.
There's a nice picture of her in the book, and she's eating it. They're all, or at least she is, she's blonde, typical Swedish girl, and she's got this huge watermelon in front of her face, and she's just smiling. It's great.
Yeah, she didn't believe her brother, because her brother told her that it was a big cucumber, and a big watermelon, and she thought it was just a big cucumber. She said, that doesn't look like it's going to taste good.
Mm-hmm. But it did.
All the people have to work together to build the church.
Yes.
And none of them have money. They can't just pay for things. So they all have their own special skills. And they each do their own part. And they finally finish the church. And so they can finally observe the Sabbath the way that they were accustomed to.
Ah, yeah.
And I thought it was interesting. It says the Reverend there had put the words of the Lord's Prayer into the Indian language in such a way that they could understand it. So instead of saying, give us this day our daily bread, he had taught them to say, give us plenty of corn and venison. And he had written it out even in sign language on paper and handed it to the Indians.
Yes.
So that they could learn it.
That's better than saying, give us lots of rum. Because the Indians like rum too, you know? Okay.
I think the idea is sustenance, not just pleasure.
Yes, that's good. That's good. It does show the efforts, the feeble efforts. But you're right, they didn't have money, and even if they did have money, who would they pay? There's no one else there.
Right.
They have to do the work. So Ellen's father, I think he made part of the podium or the pulpit.
Right.
Yeah, I think it was the pulpit.
He had some piece of wood, and Ellen observed that he was shining or polishing it, and polishing it with some kind of whetstone that basically made it, I'm guessing like a 2000 grit sandpaper you'd use today or something. And he's polishing and polishing and polishing it. And everybody brings something over for the first day of church. They all finish it, and there it is, and then they have their church. And this is the interesting thing too. Their way of doing church, the Swedish way of doing church, reminded them of Sweden. It reminded them of home. So although Christianity is a universal religion, its expressions are particular to different people.
Yes.
There's another book, this is actually an autobiography, called When the Flagpoles Bloomed. I think the woman's name was Vera.
Yeah.
But she was Swedish, but she lived in Germany during the Nazi period. And she also talked about how going to the Swedish church was like going back home to Sweden. Because suddenly you enter into it and it's like, oh, it's like Sweden again, my home, and my religion, and my way of doing things. I think that's also beautiful. I like everything, to me, that has to do with ethnic particularity. I love that. I think it's wonderful. So, and they have that here, the same expression. Are there any other events that happen that are noteworthy in the book?
Father Lucia Day.
Lucia Day. What happened there? Sancta Lucia is the Swedish saint. It's a little girl or a young lady who supposedly in the early Christian period, the early church period, she carried candles on her head during the night to bring food to people who were living in the catacombs because they were persecuted. And so she became this saint of light, saint of new beginnings and things for the Swedes because she brings light. She brings light in the darkness. And the Swedes live far in the north, so the winter can become a very dark time. Not a lot of light during that time. And there's a Christian symbolism here, the darkness, and out of the darkness a light is shown. So Sancta Lucia brings the light on candles on her head. And of course the Swedes now, they bake bread, they do all kinds of things, and they sing these songs.
Yeah, in the book it says Lucia Day was supposed to be the shortest day of the year. Lucia was the saint of light, so the coming of her day meant the ending of the shortest and darkest days of winter and the coming of light. And it was the custom among the Swedish people for the daughter of the house to rise early in the morning of Lucia Day, dress in a white robe, and put on a crown of evergreens and lighted candles, and serve the family at their bedsides with cakes and warm mead.
And so Elin did. She did that. She dressed up and she did it all. And then family came over, a lot of people came over, and they had
I think they went in the woods and sang or something.
No, they hunted. They hunted after. They did something.
They did something in the woods afterwards.
Yeah.
They did a lot of things in the woods. They actually, I think on the way to church, it showed their journeying through the woods to go to church was actually interesting in and of itself, because their family walked through the woods, and as they walked, the father started singing a hymn. And they're walking along and they see another family coming through the woods and they're singing a hymn too. And 5 other families, and before you know it, it's just a mass of people walking through the woods in the morning to church singing hymns. Mm-hmm. It's a very beautiful scene in your mind.
It was a 4-mile walk that they all had to make together.
Oh my.
In the winter, yeah. But they mark how the winters weren't as harsh there as it was in Sweden. What other events happened in the book that are interesting?
The boat came.
The boat came. Okay, so let's talk about that. Several times boats come, big ships, and each time they think, oh, it's our ship. Hopefully it'll bring supplies, and everybody wants supplies. They want pins, they want needles, they want clothes, or not just clothes, but material to make clothes. They want manufactured goods that they just don't have there, but they also want some people. And one of the brothers was hoping a special someone would come each time. They didn't say who it was, they just said, and he's particularly looking for that ship, this guy, the brother. Finally, one day, toward the end of the book, the ship does come. And the ship is sailing the flag of Sweden. So everybody goes down to the river. Apparently everybody lives near a river. And they get in their dugouts, their canoes, and row on down. And they go see everybody. Who do they meet when they get there?
Axel.
Axel.
Their older brother.
Older brother. The special someone.
Yeah.
Gudrun.
No.
No.
It was
Gudrun.
Gudrun.
The other.
Okay.
Older girl.
Yes, so the ship arrives, Axel's on the ship, and then her brother, Roar, wants to marry Britta.
Britta.
Britta arrives with a little girl.
her sister, I think.
Not her
Well,
sister.
she talks to Elin. She says, Elin, this is my sister's child, Gudrun. She has come to stay with us because now she has no father and no mother. Gudrun looked solemnly at Elin. A little girl to live with them? A sister, almost? It was too good to be true.
And she looked just like her. Blonde hair, rosy cheek, happy. She was kind of sad, but also happy to have a friend now.
Yeah.
What a transition, though. I mean, to lose your father and your mother and then
Yeah,
cross the ocean
right.
to go and live, with strangers.
I think, though, for people back then, without seeing a map of the world, you really don't have a perspective.
That's true.
You lost your father and mother, that's sad. You got on this ship that's so large with your aunt. The ship is so large, though, that you're just on it for a while and you get off and you're on land again. So you don't have this idea of, I'm 7,000 miles away from you don't know.
Right.
It's just, I'm now with Swedes. I'm with Swedes, though. Swedes stick with Swedes, and they all hang together and they all work together. And that's what that was. We're going to
It's like
adopt this girl.
Home
Yeah.
away from home.
And Elin even told Gudrun, we have everything here, just like Sweden. She was very quick to say that. Yeah.
She says, we have everything, and there are watermelons.
And there are watermelons. Yeah, that's right. That's right. One of the brothers hunted with one of the Indians too. I remember that. So not just
Redfoot.
No, it was Newt. The brother's name was Newt.
and he hunted though with one of the Indians, maybe Redfoot or something. So there was an integration in some way with the Indians. Like there was one who was a runner, a messenger, and you could see the messenger coming, and he wouldn't even stop. He would just run by your house and shout a message and keep running.
Ship. And then they would go down and
Right.
gust the ship.
So things were different in America than in Sweden, but they tried to recreate their habitat as much as possible like old Sweden. That's what they were doing. However, Ellen's mother continually told her, don't keep looking back to old Sweden. This is our home now. We're in America now. This is our home, and we're going to make it as best as we can.
And that is how the book ends. She realizes, she wakes up next to Gudrun, and she thinks, am I in old Sweden again? What's happened? And then she remembers that Gudrun doesn't have a father and mother anymore. And she says, but my mother will be hers, and my father will be hers. She will help me keep the stuga tidy, their cabin, and will always know that the tomta is here. Suddenly, Elin knew that she no longer needed to make believe to talk to the tomta. She had Gudrun to talk to. She no longer needed to look for the ship. It had come. She no longer needed to think of old Sweden as home. Home was here in the new land. This was Elin's Amerika.
I think that's good. That's a show. Anything else to say about the book?
No, the front part is nice.
What front part? The picture?
The front.
The cover.
The cover's nice?
It's a good book, but also when the women were making soap, the men were also working on the church at the same time. But I think the children were like doing some kind of chore. Like I think Elin had to go pick grapes.
Yeah, she had to pick some grapes. And she had to deliver milk to the other people's houses. Yeah.
Yes. And one day she forgot to do that.
Oh, yeah. And the milk went sour.
The milk went sour. Everybody needed each other back then. They didn't have electricity like we have today, or indoor plumbing and cars to take them everywhere, and big stores. They all had to work together and stick together. And they did. Maybe we can walk to church.
Dad.
Next time.
Daddy.
Well, it was a good story. It was short, but it's a picture into early America.
It's a really good story for kids.
It's a good story for adults too. Like I said, as you get older, you'll read more adult or more advanced books about early America, and they will hardly ever give you a better picture of early America than stuff like this. Older books, adult books, textbooks, history books, super boring and convoluted and completely biased by the publisher or the professor or the school that's publishing it. Whereas older books like this, they're simpler, they're narrative based, they're easy to understand, and often it's accurate. It's a full picture of what was going on back then. So it's really good. So don't ever think that you're advancing from this as you get older. Like, this is a good book. Thank you for listening. If you're enjoying this content, please consider supporting the show by subscribing at arslibri.substack.com. Your support enables me to produce this content. Subscribers also get bonus episodes, detailed book lists, and more.